Sir? Sir, Aspari Security. Situation is under control. You can step out.
Syndicate was a series of computer games produced by Bullfrog Productions way back in 1993. Originally a top-down tactical shooter, it's been well over a decade since the last title in the series was released. Now, EA and Starbreeze Studios looks to reboot the series as a first-person shooter. But in an already saturated market of FPS hopefuls, is Syndicate able to make a name for itself, or is it better off being left in the past?
57% are chipped and linked to their preferred corporation. The rest are digitally locked out of sight and out of mind.
Syndicate takes place in the year 2069, where government is abolished and corporations are running the show. These so-called syndicates offer citizens the ability to meld with the digital world, and civilians flock to get chipped to reap the rewards. In turn, the syndicate gains control over the individual and their behavior. With no established government to police these mega-corporations, it's an all-out war to expand, with specially engineered agents at the front lines. You take the role of Eurocorp's latest agent, Miles Kilo, with a new Dart 6 prototype chip at his disposal.
Volunteering to sign up for the prototype despite the risk of brain cancer. A real prodigy, alright.
Syndicate boasts a decent story, but it fails to really take off. While it starts promising enough with missions to cover corporate secrets and investigate possible information leaks, the predictable events unfold before ultimately coming to an abrupt halt. Brian Cox and Rosario Dawson do a fine job of holding your interest with their performances, and Michael Wincott's rough facade as your questionable sidekick managed to keep the story from completely falling flat.
Well, the point is, if they beat us to the punch, their agents get the edge over ours. And I won't permit that.
Though the story does little to impress, the look and feel of the game is far from average. Visually, Syndicate is top tier, with intense lighting, detailed textures, and seamless character animation doing their part to bring the cyberpunk world to life. Though sometimes the light saturation and lens flares can be downright blinding. Dubstep may not be your cup of tea, but the electronic soundtrack melds perfectly with the futuristic setting. The sound design is at its peak when firing a weapon, as every bullet that leaves the chamber of your gun makes a satisfying thud to the subwoofer. While the general format of the game does little to stray from the room-clearing standard, the actual gunplay is what keeps the game interesting. There's a smoothness to Syndicate that separates it from the standard FPS format, like automatically putting your back against cover when crouched, or the snap to aiming down the iron sights. As you progress to unlock additional abilities, the game soon becomes a test of your capability to multitask under pressure. Environments can be manipulated to provide cover, enemies gain shields that must be broken before they can be damaged, and your powers are constantly recharging. It's this continual management under fire that keeps each encounter engaging.
I'm on sniper support, Kilo. Got your back all the way.
The typical gunplay is further enhanced by the clever AI. Unlike most shooters, the enemy AI is constantly on the move. It can be downright ruthless in some situations. There are multiple circumstances in which enemies will flank you from all sides, move in behind a larger character, or flush you out of your hiding spot with grenades. You find yourself constantly having to adapt to the smarter enemy and use everything in your arsenal to overcome the odds. Syndicate gunplay works in conjunction with the Dart 6 chip abilities, with the most useful being the Dart Overlay. This constantly recharging feature will put you in a bullet time mode while simultaneously highlighting enemies through walls. Not only do things slow down, but you will increase the amount of damage you can deal and take, becoming your go-to move for tight situations. Not to be outdone by the Dart 6 lesser ability, identifying that this is, indeed, garbage.
Activating performance tests for Dart 6 Suicide application.
In addition to your overlay, there are 3 base abilities at your disposal. Backfire will allow you to jam an enemy's weapon and stagger them for an attack. Persuade will overtake a soldier's chip and turn them to assist you instead before putting a bullet in their own head. And lastly, Suicide, which will cause a soldier to take out a grenade and pull the pin for his friends. It's a healthy balance, and the requirement for kills to recharge the meter keeps you actively pursuing fights.
I think you're gonna like this.
The single-player experience is short and sweet, with 20 chapters running a total of 6 hours. To influence replay, you can find chip upgrades to experiment with different builds for your character, hunt for data transfer points, sometimes hidden in various corners, and try to surpass your previous record of headshots in each milestone. It's a fun experience, but lacks any real lasting impact, save for one boss fight that involved using his own weapons against him.
How are you feeling?
Like somebody stabbed me in the damn chest.
The single player may be short-lived, but the cooperative experience is where the game truly stands out. You and 3 other friends must work together to complete varying objectives for your syndicate. Most of the time these involve eliminating a team of agents or procuring information and extracting it to a drop-off point. Though some of these are repeated, sharing the appeal of fast-paced gunplay with 3 additional players is a blast.
On a random European road towards a random military base together with you guys. Life sucks.
You have 3 loadouts to customize, complete with a main weapon, sidearm, and 2 dart abilities. Your abilities cannot be changed once on the battlefield, but weapons can be picked up and automatically have any upgrades you've already unlocked. Healing teammates, using dart abilities in conjunction with one another, and sticking together are key to completing a mission, as the aggressive single-player AI will quickly hone in on any lone wolves. At the end of each mission, every player is awarded experience and tokens to unlock research. You can upgrade existing weapons and abilities in addition to a skill tree similar to the single-player game. The addictive nature of upgrading a weapon to add a secondary fire or enhancing a dart ability to improve its effectiveness will soon have you jumping right back into another mission to become a more powerful agent. The numerous challenges and ability to form your own syndicate with friends are slight additions that polish off one solid co-op experience.
We're on the verge of something great. Let's not mess it up.
Syndicate is really what you make of it. It may not break any new ground, but the fast-paced run-and-gun nature of the gameplay keeps it engaging from start to finish. While the single player may be short, the cooperative experience helps extend the life of the game and offers plenty of unlocks to keep you busy. The overall polish of Syndicate helps it avoid being just another FPS title and makes it a great shooter to kick off 2012.